What's up, Mets fans? Back at you, Orange and Blue Thing, Season 7, Episode 8. Not that we really need to say that, but I like doing it anyway, of an Orange and Blue Thing. I am Darren Mean, and that is the General, Andrew Windart. What's up, Andrew?
How we doing, everyone?
We're doing okay. So we were talking about this a little bit I went live on Instagram just to try to, hype the people up and tell them that you're going to be on the show. Maybe they'll want to watch. But this isn't your first time doing a podcast. You have your own.
No, it's not.
Oh.
No, I mean, it's not my first time doing a podcast. Yeah. For a long time, I was part of the Marvel movie marathon with John Salazar and Miles Good,
right?
Where we reviewed Marvel movies, and we hosted live events where we bought out the theater and, just create an overall experience, kind of like what we do with the 7 Line on a much smaller scale and for movies. Right. But that was fun for a while, and then real life got in the way.
Of course.
Where I moved out here. John was moving around a lot within the confines of Brooklyn and Queens, and then Andrea bought their house out in Long Beach. So getting together was tough during the week. So we couldn't really do it as much anymore. And it was just one of those things where it was like, all right, we can't do it this week, that week. But it was a lot of fun for a long time.
I was telling the people, I was like, I would love to support my friends, but I'm not a big Marvel guy. So it's like, I didn't make it out to the events. Of course,
but we had a lot of crossover too, where people from the 7 Line Army and friends we made from that would come out to our events.
Of course.
And like I said, it was a great time. And I cherish all those memories I had with Marvel Movie Marathon.
So we are live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, as we usually are. If you're listening afterwards as a podcast on Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, we appreciate that as well. Make sure you subscribe to all that good stuff. The YouTube thing, we were talking about this. We're our YouTube numbers are horrible. I'm not gonna lie and pretend that we're killing it by any means, but we're trying to build that up. So if you're watching on YouTube, definitely subscribe to all that good stuff as well.
That's even news to me, because I feel like every time I go to watch, it would be on Facebook. I initially think of this as like a Facebook show.
Well, initially it was only Facebook, and then technology started picking up, the way we stream the show, and we were able to push it to more places.
Right.
But YouTube, I mean, honestly, we're talking about it too. Like, you can watch a YouTube video and leave it on your screen and scroll through and start doing other things, like the SNY app.
Right, on the screen, but if you close the app, the audio cuts out.
No, I know.
That was my only beef with YouTube.
Right,
where it would just shut it off. You have to keep it open, kind of. But
the iPhone, you can move it around.
Right, the iPhone now does that, where it'll keep the screen on.
Right.
It's good.
So, you know what? I never actually even asked you this question. I don't think ever. I don't know where it came from. Where did the General even come from? Was that like a CFS thing? Like, how did you get this General nickname?
I could have sworn it came. If you don't, I could have sworn it came from me and you discussing. Just joking around, and we were talking about, you're loud, you make all the noise, and you lead the army.
Maybe also when we got the assigned seats for the season tickets. Maybe that's what it was. Because if you don't. Honestly, if you watch the show, you know about the 7 Line Army by now. But when we got the season ticket package, I guess maybe you sat there in the playoffs and you're like, all right, this is your spot.
Right. I don't know if it was the assigned seats. You might have just, when me and you naturally became closer friends, I feel like you moved me down. I mean, I was kind of in the middle of the pack in 141 when Dave, and his ex-girlfriend Jackie got seats for the first
game
outing.
one.
Yeah.
Dickie
R.A. Dickey 20th win. Yeah. And there's pictures of that. I remember having to find that picture and show you, look, original 12. I've been here since the beginning.
Yeah.
But then, I don't know. It just kind of
evolved, and you got the name
from there. Yeah. And I guess the louder I got, the closer you moved me to the front.
Well, it's funny when you I know in the beginning, you probably still do. Obviously, life gets in the way and things change. But initially, the FOMO that you would have if you weren't at a game. Yeah. So you missed your first game for your friend's birthday party or something.
My friend Tom, it was his birthday, and he's not into sports.
Yeah.
My friend Tom, he's my best friend since we were 7 years old, second grade. And like I said, he came to one outing one time, and it's not his thing.
Yeah.
We have other interests together.
Yeah.
But he would always guild me, and you're going to Florida.
It was 2017 or 18 or something. You missed the game.
Yeah, I remember where I went to, and you and I think it was Brian at the time. Gave me a lot of crap.
It was go-karting or something.
Yes, it was go-karting. Yeah. It was the speedway, the fast go-karts out in Jersey.
Well, I love the one on Long Island. We went for your birthday recently.
Right, that was awesome. That was a similar one. That was awesome.
RPM.
Right, that's up your alley too.
Oh yeah, I love the speed. I like that place too because it keeps track of your lap times and shit. But anyway, the one and only show of ours of Orange and Blue. This is a season 7 that you cannot find anywhere on Facebook. Is that show after you missed the game?
That was a good episode. I remember
It was a great episode. But if you didn't watch it live,
I
you can't
remember
watch
why,
it
yeah.
because I made the in memoriam of you missing. It sounded like you were dead.
Kind of worked out for the best.
It was like
someone would come across that and think I am dead.
Right.
Yeah,
It was the Sarah McLachlan video.
Right.
And I put it in slow-mo and black and white. And it was like your streak of never missing a game.
Right.
So now
I know. But once you rip that Band-Aid off, it happens.
Oh,
it's just like, you know, all right. It was, believe me, I was thinking about it while I was there, but.
Well, we just had our 140th outing.
Mm-hmm.
So we are now 80 and 60. You remember like the chatter online was always like, oh, the 7 lines there, they fucking lose. And like, if you just look at like the actual, people like to come up with their own narrative, obviously, and that's just in general. But if you look at our actual stats, for us to be around in 13, 14, and 12, the team sucked.
Yeah.
So for us to be 20 games over 500 is still pretty good.
And do you remember how you figured out the record?
Well, you used to keep track of everything.
I kept my ticket stubs, RIP paper ticket stubs. Now it's all.
We'll get to Andrew's grievances in a little bit.
There's many, folks. There's many. No, but I would keep. It was like a memento. I would write down the score, something big that happened that made you remember, like a Lucas doing a home run, whatever it was.
Right.
And I'd keep it in the book. I have like 3 books filled.
That's sick.
With tickets.
So now you'd have to like make a Post-it note, like an opening day.
I tried something like that, but it doesn't have the same feel.
Yeah.
You know, like everything.
Well, I'm glad you did because in the beginning, you know, like you were part of it since day one, so we didn't really know what we were building at the time. So like game 1, the Dickey game, you know, after that game, I was like, all right, my ticket rep Chris Leith at the time was like, all right, we want to do opening day 2013, and then we did, and then it blew up. But
Chris probably loved it. Moving all those.
And you know, it's still cool. Like I keep in touch with him still.
Yeah.
So he just has a new son. Yeah, he got married.
Very cool.
Shout out to Chris.
I always like Chris. Yeah.
Oh, he's the man.
We've had plenty of great ticket reps too.
Of course. So even though we have a lot going on here, we could just sit here and do this, and I'm sure the people wouldn't mind.
I could, I got plenty of 7-line stories. We could go over this the whole time.
Yeah.
Not even touch base on the Mets or my grievances.
We will get to the grievances. Well, you know what? Like, you know, we're friends, you know, for a long time now. So we'll chat about, honestly, for the large part, we don't talk about the Mets. You know, like if we're hanging out, like we're on bowling team together and shit, we'll bullshit about like last Thursday. We even said before we got there, let's not talk about the Mets because last Thursday Mets got shelled. And then we went to the bowling alley and we're like, let's talk about anything.
That was literally
not Thursday. It was Wednesday.
That was like right before
2 weeks
the game
ago?
like ended right. I remember watching.
What was it?
That was.
Oh, it was last Wednesday. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because we found out that they were going to cancel. This is a great segue.
Oh, yeah,
so we're at bowling last Wednesday. We bowl on Thursdays. Let me backtrack here. We bowl on Thursdays.
Thursdays for bowling.
Thursdays are for bowling. And we couldn't bowl last Thursday. We did because of opening day was supposed to be last Thursday. So we pre-bowled the day before. And when we're there, we get the text from Amanda.
Well, Amanda from Richie, through Richie in our group text.
Right.
Richie brought it up that the game was moved, and then Amanda brought it up to me, and then I broke the news to the rest of the team.
To us, and we didn't believe you.
Yeah, you were dead set. You were staunchly, no way, it's not getting moved. We're pre-bowling. It's going to be tomorrow. And I was all ready because I spoke to anyone at the tailgate who knew about this. I had my opening day set up for Thursday, and then I had a work event set up for Friday. And then once it got moved in my head, I'm going, crap. Now it's doable, but it's going to be tough.
Well, then how do you think I felt with the boat party?
Yeah.
So luckily,
listen, boat party's better in July.
Well, absolutely. So if you didn't see last week, a lot of bullshit happened, but Thursday ended up being beautiful. It was a record-breaking day weather-wise. Gorgeous. No, and I'm not like record-breaking weather. So like they said it on every news station, every platform. Yeah, I was wearing shorts. So it's like if you're not in the Northeast and you happen to be watching the show from wherever you may be, it ended up being absolutely gorgeous as you've seen online. So the weather, this bad storm that may have been rolling through, we know now with the pitch clock and the way that the games have been going, the odds of an extra inning game are very slim to begin with. Well, when they do happen, the runner on second, you're not there for 8 hours anymore.
Right, it's not. Yeah.
So as long as they were going to get the game started at 1 o'clock, 1:40, whatever it was,
the window was there.
By 3:40, 4 o'clock, you're out.
I know.
So we're bowling last Thursday because we ended up getting a chance to go bowling. Mm-hmm. It did not rain at all the entire day. We got a text from Richie at 9:15 at night. It started to drizzle in Queens.
Yeah.
So it's like, what the fuck?
Tara was like, I just turned my windshield wipers on.
Right.
But it's sick because like I was
fucked
home.
Everyone up.
I was home. I had nothing to do at that point because I had off for opening day. And I just kept looking outside like, man, where are these clouds?
Right.
There's nowhere to be found. And it just I wanted it to rain. You never want it to rain. I wanted it to rain.
Well, I said that to you as well. And you're like, are you
weather.
fucking with me? Because like I was hoping that the weather reports were going to be wrong and it did start to pour. So at least the Mets could be like, all right, see, we made the right choice
Right.
here. But it didn't. And I was outside riding my bike in shorts.
And I feel like the Mets kind of got pushed into it, not pushed into it, but like a lot of other teams on the East Coast moved their game also.
Yeah.
So it was probably like a group think, like, oh, if they're doing it, maybe we should.
I guess. But we know the real reason here. And like, no one really wants to come out and say it. Yeah. But I wrote it on Twitter as well the day before. It's like, weather had very, very little to do with the Mets not playing baseball last Thursday. The bullpen was cooked. They just they got swept in Milwaukee. They played 4 straight games in Florida.
Yep.
Normally, when you start opening day, you have the day off. But when you start on the road at a dome, you're going to play 4 straight days. So the Mets came off of spring training, 4 straight in Miami, flew on Sunday, played 3 straight in Milwaukee, and got swept. And the Mets were like, oh, a slight chance of rain in the forecast. Oh, yeah. Let's bang this out and play it on Friday. But it fucks everyone because it was Good Friday.
Right. I mean, look at Julia. Her and her father's opening day streak is donezo.
Right.
That's it. I mean, the cutouts were there, so I don't know if that counts. But,
that's the first time we've ever had a postponement in 140 outings for the 7-line Army.
A postponement.
Yeah, we've never had an outing canceled ever.
Do you remember that game that you missed where it was pouring rain?
It did. They played it.
I know.
Yeah, that just brought me right back. That's right after
moment.
Amelia was born, and Wilmer Flores hit a grand slam.
Yeah.
Amelia was like 4 days old.
I know.
And you brought the cutouts of us.
Yes. Yeah.
So we were kind of there.
I remember Kelly hated her cutout.
Yeah. Yeah. So opening day. I mean, we all know that the reason why weather had little to do with it. But it's
crazy because Julia even said that like 7 games. You're cooked already. I mean, I understand mental break.
Right. But it's not. It's opening day is such an event. It's not like that wasn't a random Thursday game. So, like you said, Julia's streak is over, and that sucks. But that happened to a lot of people. Like even at the tailgate, it was a little lighter than you'd expect for an opening day tailgate.
Yeah, it was.
Because a lot of people that had plans for Thursday. Not many people can just call their boss and be like, "All right, Mets change the schedule. I'll just work Friday instead. Or I'll work Thursday and take Friday off." You can't always do that.
Right.
I mean, we have the luxury that we can, but other people can't. So the announcement came out that night on Thursday when the Mets postponed the game about this sleeve patch.
Oh, yeah.
So the sleeve patch came out, and I remember Julia put a tweet up and said, like, even on the days where the Mets didn't play, they still take an L. Like that was the biggest monstrosity I've seen on a sleeve patch ever. And it's funny, Too Gooden posted like earlier in the day when it was announced initially from like Tacomo that or whoever put it up that the Mets were going to wear sleeve patches of a New York Presbyterian hospital. He put up a Photoshop of like Vogelback and Darren Ruff, who's not even on the team anymore, of a gigantic red sleeve patch. Oh, and then when it actually came out, it was really damn close.
Yeah,
really close.
It wasn't that far off.
So I mean, I understand that times are changing, and every team. I don't know if the Yankees are doing it yet, but every team that I've seen, like last night, the Padres have Motorola.
Right.
The Marlins are ADT. There's a company in California, which I only remember this because it's also a BMX name. It's FBM. I think it's like a financial something.
Yeah.
But they're for the Angels have FBM, but they did a really good job. So it's like a really small patch.
Right. But ours looks like a big old block.
No, of course it's horrible. So I'm sure you've seen it by now, but I'm going to pull it up right now just to show the peeps at home. So this is the sleeve patch that the Mets are currently wearing. And thankfully it only took a couple days or even a day,
Philly colors,
for Steve Cohen to say, hey, these are Phillies colors and it needs to be more Mets appropriate. So that is gigantic. And as many people have been saying online, and I don't know if the players have come out and said this yet, that has to be extremely uncomfortable to wear on your sleeve. Something that's that solid as it's like a gigantic square.
Do you remember when they debuted? I remember you made the comparison of the inaugural Citi Field.
Oh, it's horrible. Yeah. Horrible.
Right. But Pelfrey was slated to, I think it was a start. He had it moved on the other arm.
No way.
He felt uncomfortable with it on his throwing shoulder. But Mike Pelfrey was a head case in his own.
Yeah.
But I remember him having it moved or taking off. Now, I mean, you're not going to take off a sponsor. But
no, you can't.
Right.
So
I don't know if any other Mets pitchers have complained about that, but I guess they're told not to. I don't know.
Now that I'm thinking of maybe you remember, but I don't know if it was during like a special City Connect style uniform or something. Not on the Mets. A different player didn't like the uniform and actually cut it up. Do you remember that?
Cut it up?
Cut the uniform up.
It's going against the fuel rules.
It sounds like something like Max Scherzer would do, but like some player, I don't remember what team it is. Someone in the fact checkers will tell us, but actually took a scissor or knife to the uniform in the locker room, and then they ended up having to not wear those that day because he didn't have one.
I don't know. Maybe that was part of the plan. He didn't like it so much that
Rich Sale. So Rich Sale, maybe he was on the Red Sox. I don't know, but White Sox. Sorry, Chris Sale.
Chris Sale. Yeah,
Not
I
Rich
thought you
Sale,
were
Chris
talking about
Sale.
a Met. Now, my
No,
brain
no.
went to Chris Sale, but I didn't.
But
I don't have an
remember what it was,
encyclopedia in
but
my
he
head.
ruined the jersey. He was
Yeah,
like, I'm not
yeah.
wearing this shit. So anyway, Steve Cohen came out and said he's going to change it. But the point being here is sometimes a company will maybe do something like this on purpose,
Right.
knowing they're going to change it.
For the PR.
If the patch was small, no one would be talking about it.
Yeah.
So you almost do it on purpose where it's like, all right, let's have everyone throw a big stink about this patch being so big. Everyone's saying New York
in your
Presbyterian.
rival colors, no less. Yeah.
Right. And just do it until
Mhm.
someone changes it. But now it's like these game used uniforms now are going to be like unicorns of them being the big patch. Because once you have a patch that big on a sleeve, you can't take it off without the square.
Seller's item.
Like you'll see, you'll see the holes there. So like the first ever, I don't know, Lindor jersey with that gigantic patch will now be in like the Mets memorabilia store for like $500.
Right.
Probably maybe more.
Way overpriced. Yeah.
Well, of
For
course.
an ugly ass patch.
No, I'm talking about game. I'm talking about game used.
Yeah, with the patch on
Yeah,
it.
yeah, of course.
But you know what's crazy to me that I brought up? First of all, I thought it was hilarious what you pointed out about how Steve Cohen should have just did the whole Ricky Bobby thing.
Yeah.
With
Me.
Yeah. I'm sponsoring. I don't understand. Like maybe there's reasons I don't get. Why does the hospital need to advertise?
I don't know.
Why do they feel it necessary to throw like their like name on it? Like if you're getting rushed to a hospital, you're not thinking, please take me to Presbyterian Health. I need to go there.
Yeah.
It's in the first time I'm on. No, the ambulance is going to take you where the closest.
But not only that, for the while, the Mets had the sponsorship with like hospital for special surgery.
Use your words.
Because I don't know why, but it made sense because the Mets were always hurt. So it's like, maybe they have some kind of partnership with them for like the PE or
isn't
PT.
Met Health a thing? Met Health is it?
MetLife.
MetLife. Yeah. Why couldn't we get that as a sponsor again?
I don't know. Well, if you've noticed a lot of things at Citi Field, speaking of like the renovations, how fucking gigantic the scoreboard is, nothing that says Citi Field's in concrete. So if you've noticed, next time you look around, they could easily change the name tomorrow.
Well, did you? I don't know if you and Julia talked about this. Did you see Mayor Adams wanted it changed?
Well, it wasn't the mayor. It's like a local activist. He said it's
Jamani Williams.
Yeah, somebody.
Yes. He wanted to change because banking is evil.
Well, he said something about Citibank is a big supporter of something. I don't know. I don't want to say something wrong.
Right, exactly. Like I said, I'm not one for.
You
facts.
can look it up.
I just fact checkers go at it.
Yeah.
But I mean, they can't just expect Steve Cohen and the Mets to break a contract. How many years left is on?
Not many. I think it was a 20-year deal. And honestly, dude, it's scary to think about how close we are to 20 years of having Citi Field.
Oh my God,
it opened in 2009. So we're close.
I know.
You were trying to figure out your retirement the other day. We were talking about how old
20
you
years.
are.
Yeah.
Well, not 20 more.
No, God, no. Oh my God. not the way the city's running now. I'm in my 12th year, I think. 12 years on the job.
Yeah. But Citi Field opened in 2009.
Retirement numbers always throw me off. It threw me. I ask Amanda this. I constantly am at the point where I can't remember if I turned 35, 36. I'm in that weird.
Easy part for me is I was born in 80, so it's much easier to do the counting. And it's like, 80.
My sister's the same way. She's born in 90. Yeah.
So I'll be 43 in November, unfortunately. But actually, no, fuck it. Fortunately, I feel great.
Yeah.
So that's the deal with the sleeve patches. But nothing, like I said, nothing at the ballpark is in concrete. So they could swap out and change the name of the ballpark within a week.
Right.
Like if the Mets are about to go on a road trip and by next week they come back, they could have the new name on the ballpark. So it's like, we'll see what happens with that. But as far as the sleeve patches, I don't know how long that deal is, but
you know what else isn't in concrete?
What?
It's parking rates.
Well, we'll get to parking in a second because Steve Cohen was able to quickly fix the patch. But the thing with that is the concrete. What was I getting to?
Sorry for throwing.
No, it's okay. I did have a fact for a second, but I forgot what it was. So the name is what it is. Things can change like a drop of hat. So that's what it is. On top of the New York Presbyterian deal with the sleeve patch, I tried to sidle my way into this deal, and it's not going to happen.
Getting the 7 line on a jersey?
No. I wish.
Imagine.
You know how expensive that would be?
That'd be amazing.
That would be amazing. But
imagine how many we get enough haters as it is. Can you imagine if our logo was on the team?
Well, I mean, it's close enough. I mean, we're not that it's on the jersey, but even like being invited on like the Mets Stuff podcast. That's a Mets podcast. They did it from the tailgate.
Right.
So like stuff like that. I mean, the 7 line and the Mets are so closely intertwined now. It's great. But with the kiosk and everything. But the deal that not only to have the sleeve patch is every child that's born at New York Presbyterian Hospital is going to get a Mets onesie.
Wow.
So that's
Really?
cool. That is really cool.
Who pays for that? The Mets?
The Mets. So I called.
That's part of the deal, you said.
That's part of the deal. So, I mean, you have to think it can't be that expensive.
Can you
If they're
imagine?
making like 100,000, I don't know how many kids are born there, but they're making like thousands of onesies.
Right.
But I tried to be like, well, how could you not give them the Down since 2023 onesie? Like that would be sick if every kid
get yourself in. Yeah.
and I would pay for it. You know what I mean? Just to get us in there,
Right.
it would be great. But
The press too. People were talking about it.
unfortunately, they said no. It's already done.
Oh.
So someone else already got in on that, but maybe next
So
year.
it's not even the Mets that are producing it. It's another. Like,
No, the Mets are. Well, no. Yeah, the Mets are working with a vendor to get them done. But like every kid born is gonna whether or not their parents are Mets fans are going to get a Mets onesie.
Can you imagine? Like, what if you had a kid and you were brought to the here's a Yankee onesie. I could be imagine that. What if I go to the hospital at the Yankee sponsor?
Well, what would you? Well, maybe. There you
It's
go.
possible.
Actually,
3 months away.
You just answered your own question. Remember when you said, "Well, with the ambulance is coming to get you," where
Yeah.
you're gonna say, "Don't bring me to New York Presbyterian. My kid's not getting a Yankees onesie."
Listen,
Amanda,
no,
hold
yeah,
out. We're going a little further.
Yeah, really, baby. let's keep the baby in. But you know what? We already have our down to 2023 onesie ready to go. Excited.
Yeah, so if the people don't know, a little bit about you, I'm sure they probably already do by now, but so you will be a father in July.
Mm-hmm. Yes, July 19th. The man is due.
We saw you on News 12.
Yeah.
And you said, I don't know if you watched it or not.
I did watch it.
Like,
I almost wish I didn't watch it and you showed it to me here for the first time.
Yeah. I don't have it saved.
No, it's fine. But the reason is I watched it and I knew I was drunk.
Yeah.
But I still
the best part is you have a built-in DD.
Right. It's great. Until I've already promised her a solid year.
Oh, yeah. You owe her big time.
Right. But I watched the video and I said, man, I really hope I don't look like an idiot. And you said, Tara was like, no, you were fine, blah, blah. In my head, I knew. I don't remember much about it.
It's not your first time being on the news.
No, but I was also half a bottle of Jameson in. So
responsibly.
Yes, responsibly. I wasn't driving. Amanda was.
Yeah.
So I watched it and I noticed towards the end how many times I said the word baseball. And I feel like
I watched you like Mets baseball.
I was like, oh my God. In my head, I was going, my brain went into like shutdown mode. And it was like, just say baseball. You're here to talk about baseball.
Yeah.
And it just kept saying baseball, baseball, baseball. And I was like, wow, that was just like a self-preservation thing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't terrible, but I feel like I've done better interviews. And I just, the longer they waited to do that interview, the worse it was going to get.
Well, it's funny. I got a jacket from somewhere. I can't say where, but I think I found it at a thrift store. I got a News 12 jacket.
Okay.
So I'm starting to do these fake news reports. So I did the fake weather report the day before. I'm gonna hang on to it, leave it in my car, and just start wearing that jacket to do like fake weather reports.
That was great. That was a really, really funny video.
It was quick, 15 seconds, like the old Vines. You gotta be fast. So
TikTok.
You were in the parking lot. Some people unfortunately had to miss the game. We just talked about how when there's like an injustice in the world, like a gigantic patch that needed to be changed, Steve Cohen stepped in and said, we're gonna change this. So when Julia and I first found out that the parking at Citi Field was going to be $40, we talked about it on the show, and I basically said, and so did Julia, it is what it is. This is the price. We really have no say over this. We're going to pay it, and that was really the end of it. So in our group chat, you're like, I cannot believe that you guys did not make a bigger stink about this parking. Yeah. But what else would you want us to do in that situation?
Just acknowledge
the microphone is yours.
Just acknowledge the ridiculousness of inflating the prices 33%. I did the math. 33% up from last year. You went from 30 to 40. It was $30 last year. And I'm not that old, man. We just talked about it. I'm 35. I remember when parking was $15. And again, that's something that I was when I started driving 18, 17, whatever old I was. To go up that much, our kids are going to be paying $100 to park their cars at Citi Field. It's crazy. Why? Just I got some information. I know it's not the Mets. It's just the city that does it. But did you people that work? You pay city tax. You pay state tax. You ever look at that bill? That's high. Where's all this money going? Where is it going? Think about home games and how many. Look around the parking lot. $40 a clip.
But you're bringing up
just to
too,
park
since
your
the
car.
games are so short now, it's like you're paying so much money just to park, and the amount of time it takes to get in and out of the lot, and how long it takes to commute
Dude, it
there.
took an hour to get out the other night, and it's just getting worse. But it's because of our lot. I understand that, but
well, every lot's bad.
Yeah.
But like you said, the pricing isn't really just dictated by the Mets. It's also a city thing, and that's why you've noticed the lots I don't even think are owned by them, or they're not operated by them.
No,
I don't really know how it works.
Keith Blacknick, our media group, we were talking on the way here, and he was giving me some information because, like I said, I do prefer going scorched earth on a lot of things, and 9 times out of 10, that leaves me like, oh, you missed this. This wasn't right. So he was explaining to me how in Park, the Mets, and New York City all have basically the Mets rent that land from the city, lease the land from the city, and in Park does the training, and the Mets do the staffing. But New York City takes the money, puts it in their pocket. I'm sure the Mets get a piece and everything. But again, it's a park. We're parking literally in a park that's free when it's not Met games.
Right. Well,
and
yeah.
Where does the money go? At least if you're gonna upcharge me 33%, get me more porta potties, so my poor pregnant wife doesn't have to waddle halfway across the lot to get to the porta potty, and wait on a line there.
That's a good argument. I like that argument.
You know what? You're gonna go 50 with the playoffs. Give me indoor plumbing. Give me running water, so I don't have to do my business in a stink box.
I agree with you. See, on that, I would 100% agree with. But
let me see where the money's going.
Right.
Show me an upgrade.
Right.
Don't just say you're paying an extra 33% higher to park on the same piece of concrete that you were last year, and $20 years back.
Right. No, I agree with you. And you see, that's the kind of, I 100% agree with that. I think that's a good argument to go back to the team. Like, all right, you're charging more. How about tripling the amount of porta potties? Because that line, honestly, like, people are going to start going into like the bushes or places they shouldn't be. But the line,
I am not above that.
The line,
the drunker I get.
The line on opening day just to get into the porta potty was very, very long.
Yeah.
So there's only 2, I think, and there's like 1 million parking spots out there. So
right, but like also, if it's going towards the city, I mean, anyone that lives in New York City knows the crazy taxes we pay. I'm sure you pay a lot for taxes, all that. Where is it going? Because you ever just drive on roads? It's like you're driving on the moon. Where's the money going? Show me where it's going. And everyone's going to say, oh, it's going to pay you to pick up the garbage and supervise the garbage, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I'm out there. I'm making money for the city. I write my tickets. I begrudgingly, but I do it.
Right.
And just show me where my money's going. I would love for the city at the end of the year to break down your taxes and say it's impossible.
Right.
Everyone pays different fees. Show me where the money's going. Because I feel like all the money we pay in taxes in New York City, it's just why a lot of people are leaving and going and moving down south, Florida, North Carolina, wherever. Show me where it's going. Because at the rate we pay, New York City should look like Wakanda. Wakanda's, I'm sorry, I forgot you're not a Marvel guy, but it's a super rich city from Marvel.
I was just gonna, I just nod my head. Yeah, Wakanda.
It's a super rich city that is just like way ahead and just technologically advanced. Show me where it's going.
Yeah,
the trains are always late. The buses are always late. The roads look like shit. Like, come on. Give me something for my money, as opposed to just a place to park my car.
At least an extra porta potty or 2. So the reason
for the pregnant women,
for the pregnants, for the pregnants out there. So that's what I was saying on the show. Is like I'm of the mindset of of things I don't think I could change. I don't really like to waste my breath on a lot of things. So I understand where you're coming from, but it's like for us to sit here and make like a gigantic stink about the parking was like, what's it going to change? But I do agree that if we're not going to be able to change the price, then give us some advancements in the meantime before, because they're going to level all that shit. So eventually,
what do you mean, the park marina,
the park, all the parking lots going to be changed.
Oh,
there's going to be
but the city has to approve
parking garage. I mean, I think that's what the whole queensfuture.com thing's about with all those meetings. So they're trying to clean up the whole area. It's the only ballpark with like waterfront access that doesn't actually have any waterfront
amenities.
Yeah, right. So like you're that close to the water. Why isn't there some kind of green space or park or whatever?
So you think the marina lot's going to get put down and they're going to put like restaurant?
I would hope so.
That's city owned though.
I would hope so.
That's a park.
I mean,
they'll
figure it out eventually. But honestly, like they know that the issues with the parking lots is a gigantic problem. So
where are we tailgating then?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. But we did talk about the alternative, which I think some people did take advantage of, the $5 parking up at the Best Buy and all that.
I'm going to look into that next time. But again, I don't want to miss out on tailgates. It's like
I know. So that's why I said to you, this is where we had a conversation like this on the opening day tailgate or on the way. We were on our group chat, and I was like, I'm going to leave my house at 7:15. I got to get the truck there. I had to stop here and pick everything up. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to leave around that time too, whatever you said. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, where are you going to park? And you said Marina Lot. I'm like, well, there you go.
Yeah, and then it's bad enough Richie. To have to debate you, but then Richie is a known. He loves to just poke and to get the argument going, and he'll just take the opposite side just to create a controversy. No, it wasn't
opposite. Like, it was saying
no, he was agreeing with you, but I was on the other end of it.
But you paid it,
of course. I paid
so
it.
I was saying
again, like I said, $40 is not going to make or break me.
Right.
However, you shouldn't have to pay that to park your car.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. I do agree. So what you do want to pay for is tickets to go to a Mets game. And what better way to do that than, well, if you don't go to Mets.com, which of course they want us to promote that as well. But if you want to pick up tickets quickly on the secondary market and not pay any fees, actually, go to our friends at TickPick. No hidden fees, more savings with over $100 million in customer savings and counting. They guarantee the best prices. So if you had to guess, if you didn't already look this up, Mr. General, don't look at the screen.
I won't.
How much do you think you can get into the game tonight for? Which is Bark in the Park. Julia's going to be there. Maybe you could say hi to her and her
Bark in the Park. Bark in the Park. So,
well, this is just
to buy the dog a ticket too, right?
You do, yeah. So this is not for the Bark in the Park section, but the cheapest ticket to get into the ballpark. How much do you think you can get that for right now on TickPick?
Cheapest ticket,
no fees.
Well, you would think it would have to be higher than the parking.
Higher than the parking, you think?
I mean, yeah.
No, okay. Go ahead.
All right, let's go $45.
$45?
Yeah.
$6.
$6?
Yeah.
Really? Through TickPick.
You can get into the ballpark tonight for $6 on TickPick. Granted, it is, let's see, best deal, quantity, whatever, filters. Let's just say this, for instance. Section 517, which is not a bad seat. Row 5, you get in for $8.
Wow. That's really good, actually.
The 400 level, $10. And it's a beautiful weather, right? It's like 70 degrees out. So you can get in for basically, a quarter of the price that you will to pay to park.
And there's no fees at all.
No fees.
No fees. Wow.
So you hit this little button, you select what you want to do. There's all these different star ratings. So like 5 stars, obviously the best. Mm-hmm. And then it goes right into your ballpark app. So it's seamless. Wow. It's super easy. We love TickPick. You're not a basketball fan, right?
Casual, not really. I enjoy watching it, but it doesn't grab me like baseball.
I know this is a somewhat of a Mets show, but let me just pull this up for a second. You will not believe. I thought I was going to go to some Knicks playoff games. Mm-hmm. I am.
I know what their prices are like at the Garden.
I am absolutely not, and neither are any. I'm not a super diehard Knicks fan. I do watch every game, but I wouldn't say I bleed orange and blue for the Knicks.
Right.
But how much do you think?
No looking.
This is for the first round. So the cheapest price to get into the first round against the Cavaliers, home game 1. It's not actually set as a time yet, but that's $294. But if you scroll down and God willing, the Knicks do make it to the finals, how much do you think game 4, if necessary, of the NBA finals would be?
The finals.
The finals. Just the least expensive ticket right now to get into the Garden.
$1,000.
No.
Higher, Bob?
Higher, Bob. Way higher.
Way higher?
Way.
You're hitting me with a way?
Way.
Oh my God. $2,500.
The current best deal is this goes by star rating. So
way.
So what the person paid and what it's going for. The current best deal, which is section 118, row 16, is $11,400 for one ticket.
Why?
Because that's what people will pay, and that's what that's.
Is that where the celebrities sit?
No, that's not even celebrity row. This is like
what's courtside?
Let's see.
Oh my God,
courtside.
Oh,
so courtside seats, row 2, section 12, $39,900 for one ticket. So if you wanted to, bring your pregnant wife, you guys would be.
She could watch at home.
You guys would be paying $79,800 to go to one game, 2 tickets.
That's insane.
Yeah, but it would also be the first Knicks championship.
That's right. It is the finals
in forever. So that's the story. But if you want to spend $79,800, go to TickPick. Yep. And you can get $99 off your.
Yeah, you won't have to pay fees on that.
Yeah,
but actually giant number.
You would get $10 off. So use our promo code OABT, $10 off any order over $99 in the app for first-time users. So you wouldn't be able to use it tonight for the Mets game unless you picked out some bougie seats. But $10 off, so basically 10% off.
Unless you went with some friends.
Exactly, on $100 ticket. So OABT, TickPick, we love them. I don't know who's going to be able to spend. Well, I know a lot of people can, maybe Spike Lee or something, but $80,000 on one Knicks game is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah. So the advancements they've done in TV and sound, you can make your own home entertainment system. There's no reason.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
I wouldn't pay that.
Me, Richie, no, most people won't. So I mean, these prices will probably come down, but that's what it is today. So me, Richie, and Zappa bet a lot together, and we're on a chat about like the Knicks and so on and so forth. And I was sending them these screenshots last night, and I was like, "Fuck it, we'll just go to Arugas." Like,
right?
Imagine you couldn't spend $80,000 in Arugas over the next not even if you 40 years.
Yeah, no way.
If it'll still be there,
even if you ran the tab for everyone in the bar.
Yeah, right. So the Mets beat Yu Darvish last night for the first time ever, which I actually didn't think that was possible. I had to look it up. So
I didn't know that ever.
He was 5-0 against the Mets, and the last time actually that he beat the Mets was unfortunately last year, Game 1 at Citi Field of the Wild Card Series that we shouldn't have even been in the first place.
Yep.
And that was also against Scherzer. So last night, Scherzer, I don't know if you got to watch the game. What's your schedule like? Because you go to bed early, right? You wake up at like 3 in the morning. Tell me, wake up.
Well, they just recently switched our schedule. We used to be 6 to 2, the dayline 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Now maybe we've 5. Moved up. The new commissioner moved us up 5 to 1.
Yeah,
which is it's decent for traffic. Some guys like it, some guys don't. I'm kind of in the don't camp because I'm still an hour away from work, living out here.
Right.
But I wake up. I set my alarm for 2:45.
Oh my God, 2:45.
And then I like to be out the door. I don't like.
So
to
you
be
like
late.
the 2-hour games now?
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah,
pitch clock is awesome. Love it. I just love it. It just keeps the game moving. And I used to err on the side of like being a traditional baseball fan. Don't change the game. This is no robot umps, all that stuff. But I love it. Because you get lost. I mean, and you get lost sometimes where it's like, all right, it's dragging, the constant throwovers. I think I saw something in spring training. There's a side-by-side of an inning that they got 3 outs with the new pitch clock as opposed to one pitch being thrown. In I think it was a Cubs game. I forget who. I forget someone.
I think it was something with an inside the park home run or something like that, right? Wasn't it like
no? It was someone on second, and they constantly were throwing over, holding them on, and on the side-by-side, it was 3 outs, 3 quick outs.
Wow. Yeah. Maybe like first pitch swing. And
I forget. It was during spring training, obviously.
Yeah.
But it was no. I'm a big fan of it because now that I'll be going to bed earlier, it's nice to not have to be up until 10 o'clock,
right.
11 o'clock at night.
Yeah. So I mean, sometimes they throw us with the random 6:40 start also, which then bangs out an extra half hour. So anyway, last night first win against Scherzer, and unfortunately. I'm sorry. Scherzer had his first win, not first win ever, but obviously I got the win last night against Darvish, first ever loss against the Mets. But it wasn't the best start for him, at least as far as the. I mean, I take it back because he only gave up 1 hit, but he did have to work extremely hard. So
he's a gamer for sure.
Yeah. Well, when you start signing these older pitchers as well, or any older player, you have to adapt your game. So like the same Max Scherzer that of yesteryear, the Hall of Famer who's obviously going to go into the Hall, they have to adapt and change up their repertoire a little bit. So his first couple of games of the season, he did have to. Well, even last night, first 3 starts of the season, he has to work pretty hard. So he's throwing full counts left and right. By the third inning, he's already has his pitch count pretty high. So 97 pitches, battled his way through, and the Mets won the game.
Are you concerned?
I'm not concerned. I feel like at the rate that the like you just said, the pitch clock, everyone has to work so much faster.
Yeah.
So for a guy who might not be hitting his marks and they're getting frustrated, you could see his frustrations.
Right. But he's also gets frustrated a lot.
He's a hothead.
And I'm willing to say I don't think anyone worked as hard to navigate around the rule of the pitch clock and find ways to get an advantage, which is what gamers do.
Right.
I just get concerned. It's hard not to be concerned when you have your big offseason acquisition with Verlander not even starting yet, and Scherzer off to a rocky start, coupled with how he ended the season in the playoffs last year.
Did you see? Speaking of Scherzer for a second, did you see his wife?
Erica?
No.
What's her name?
No, not Scherzer. I'm sorry, Verlander's wife.
Oh, Kate Upton.
Kate Upton was like working at the Mets memorabilia store on opening day.
I know.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
But like, what planet? Where do we live? Like, what planet are we on? That
New York City.
A few years ago. No, I'm talking about as a Mets fan. No. A few years ago, we're still under the Wilpon regime. It is what it is. Everyone's like, oh, the Mets don't spend money, this and that. So to go from that to this gigantic fucking billboard, to all the upgrades that they've been doing around the ballpark. And then you have Kate Upton in Mets garb working in the ballpark in the Mets memorabilia store. That wasn't even the Mets memorabilia stand, if you remember, a few years ago, up until Alex Cohen stepped in and was like, "Hey, but you need to build something for this." Was a folding table. Remember? It was,
where the jerseys are.
Yeah.
No, but there's a store there.
Now there is.
Yeah.
There wasn't up until last season. So back in the day, like even just a few years ago, they had that grab bag. You get like someone got like Lucas Duda's pants or some shit.
No, I know I thought you were talking about the team store. No.
Okay, team store has always been there.
Stand. Yes, it was a table. Right.
It was a table.
Right.
It was a table with like a little barrier, and they'd have some jerseys on a rack.
Yeah.
And some employees would work the table. Now it's a full blown store.
Mm-hmm.
So to go from what we had to what we have is insane.
Well, there's no doubt the Cohens have invested heavily,
obviously,
in everything.
Obviously,
so it's nice to see. We all know that going back to the opening day getting moves. We know if our former owners still own the team, that would have gotten us for the parking. They would have gotten us for the concessions.
Yeah.
By the way, the game's not getting played. It's playing tomorrow. Come back and pay another $40.
Right. Which, oh my God, imagine that. People would freak out. So besides
my receipt,
besides the win last night, I was personally very happy because I put in a 4-way parlay before the game.
Nice.
For four hits that had to happen on this parlay, 4 legs, right?
Okay.
So it was Vogelback had to get a hit.
Bingo.
Got one early in the game. McNeil had to get a hit. Also happened. I was waiting for Guillorme and for Nito to also get hits.
Wow, Nito, okay.
You saw the hits that they got were the ones that rolled down the line.
Right. Oh, yes.
For me to hit that parlay, thanks to the chalk and the ground screw, I owe somebody a drink. Even though I bet very small. Like I'm a $2-3 guy. I don't bet like my unit, whatever you want to call it. It's very low. It's like $3 just to have some kind of action. So I won like $18 off this bet. But still, that's better than zero. It bankrolls me for my other $2 or $3 bets today. But energy saver. God, what the hell is this?
Not enough movement.
I've never seen that before. Oh, maybe I didn't plug in the thing into the computer.
You have enough battery life there?
Yeah, hold on. Talk a second.
Okay.
So, I hit a parlay.
Okay. Yeah, I refuse. I don't bet. I have an addictive personality, and if I start betting, it'll be a problem. To where you like to write. Yeah, I'm aware of it, and I know that I have a mortgage to pay. I got a kid on the way. I don't want to gamble. I've seen gambling ruin lives. I don't want that to be me.
So
even when you go to, of course, even when I go to AC, I put aside a certain, a couple $100, whatever. I'm going to gamble. If I win, that's great. If not, all right, I'm cutting myself off because, like I said, mortgage to pay for and a pregnant wife that doesn't want to live on the street.
Right. So you're responsible.
Yes.
Well, luckily, live show, there's no producer here. I was able to fix the power issue here and we are good to go. So I personally love following Real Black. I don't know if you follow Real Black. Real Black 14 on Twitter, who has a song for everybody.
Wow. Okay. I don't follow. I got to follow.
You do not follow?
No.
So
I'm not as active on Mets Twitter after the whole Philly thing.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
So we like to highlight some Real Black videos when we can. So if you don't know, maybe this is the first time you're watching because of Andrew being on. You're one of his coworkers or friends, and you don't typically like me, but you like Andrew. That's why you're watching the show. So he has a song for everyone. This was, I think, what was the first one here? Let's play it.
Twice in one. I can be your needle,
oh, yes.
baby. Yeah. I can kiss away your pain. I will stand by you forever. You can't take these hits away. I can be your needle. I can get away your pain. See you later, Darvish.
He's the man. So he has the
Nice.
same jingles, I think, for a lot of the guys, but then he'll refilm. He doesn't reshare an old Nito. He'll play the clip and put his own little twist on it. So for that to happen in an inning, which is common, we've seen balls that don't roll foul and they'll hit the little edge and they'll stay fair. And this one landed, right on the line. But for it to happen twice in the same inning, it's like lightning striking, Citi Field. So for that to happen, and then
you should give some of the ground crew your winnings.
I'll give
throw them a couple bucks.
I can't even pay for their parking, with my win last night.
That's another thing that the employees have to pay for parking too. That's wild.
Yeah, it is pretty wild.
Yeah.
So this is the Guillorme.
When the moon hits your eye like a bigger pizza pie, that's Guillorme.
Well, I love Real Black 14. Follow him
Oh, that's great.
on the internets. I don't know if he does these videos also on like
Does he come to games?
Instagram. He's been to games before, not
Yeah.
with us, but maybe not with us, but he has some kids that are a little bit older, like teenagers.
Okay.
And he puts them in the videos. They think he's nuts.
Oh, of course.
So like he'll be singing at the
Right.
game. He always puts on a wig. It's great. He's funny. So definitely follow him on Twitter.
For sure, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's a story with that. But yeah, the bets are coming in, and I'm happy to win them when I can. But you do fantasy or something?
Yeah.
So there's no money
okay.
involved in fantasy?
No, there is. You pay a league fee and all this.
But you're not going homeless if you lose.
No,
Right.
no. There's some leagues that are heavy hitters. Like, I used to do it in high school a lot, where you do fantasy baseball. That's more when you go home and you had no responsibilities. You could just turn on SportsCenter and find out who's hot, who's not. I don't have that kind of time really anymore.
Right,
I got other responsibilities to take care of. So guy at work, my buddy Rick Russo, he comes up to me. He goes, "Oh, I'm doing a fantasy league. I want you to be part of it." So I said, Rick, I haven't really done it in years. I'll probably just be a donation this year. I can't follow. I know who's good on the Mets. I could follow whoever's like in the NL East or even the NL. It's after that. I'm not a stats guy. I'm not really. That's not my thing. So I said, but you know what? I said, for Rick, I'll do it. I joined the league, and my team is getting demolished. This is the third week. I'm 0-2. I have a few Mets. I have.
But isn't a big part of it like the draft? And let's cut you off. Isn't like the big part of it like having a party for the draft and like getting together?
Not necessarily.
Really?
We just did it
Maybe
online.
that's a football
no,
thing?
people do it.
Yeah.
You get together, do a live draft for the board, all this stuff. We just do it online on CBS. But each league has different ways to score points, and sometimes it can favor the hitters, sometimes it's balanced, sometimes it favor the pitchers.
Any penalties if like for the loser?
Oh yeah. Oh no, we didn't.
Like punishments?
We didn't go over that. It's just really a fee, a prize for the winner and then the second place.
Okay.
I'm not bringing it up now because I don't want to be punished, and I'm looking like I'm going to be the worst team in the league.
Oh, so yeah, you wouldn't want to punish yourself. But
Hell no.
I feel like things are funnier. Like we have a punishment for Zappa.
I can't wait
for 4th of July party, which he's going to probably try to get out of. But
he is not. He's wearing those pumps.
Yeah, Zappa, James Zappa, who is the our bowling captain of our bowling team,
that forgot to sign us up.
Didn't sign us up for bowling last season, and we missed the deadline. I think we talked about this on the show already with Julia, but now he has to wear high heels at our 4th of July party.
Oh, that's gonna be.
And we never set like how long he's got to wear them. We have to. Is it like all day? He can't wear them all day.
I think it'd be a consensus between me, you, Shu, Buzz, and Keith.
Maybe we'll come up with he has to do a certain amount of laps around the pool wearing them, and then he could take them off.
No, it's got to be time based.
Yeah, but we'll make it like
laps.
Walk on the pavers around the pool like 50 laps.
He'll walk in. He'll do those laps before half your party's there. No, he needs. Was a dress part of it, or was it just the pumps?
I think just pumps. Yeah,
Okay.
just high heels, which is hard enough to walk in, I'm sure.
Well, no, you have. I just saw you had Julia modeling those nice new dresses you got.
Well, she wasn't wearing high heels. You couldn't see her feet.
No, but the dresses. Put them in one of those dresses.
Oh,
free advertising.
All right, yeah.
Okay.
So Zappa's gonna cross dress
Sorry, Zapp.
on 4th of July. We'll have to take photos, I'm sure. So if you didn't know, I didn't know. Maybe I did, but I forgot. But today is Mr. Met's birthday, and the way that they come up with that is today is April 11th, and on April 11th in 1962 was the Mets' first ever game, and I'm assuming. Well, it has to have been at the Polo Grounds because Shea Stadium didn't open until 64.
Right.
So I guess Mr. Met was unveiled today on opening day in 1962, which is kind of like a late opening day. I guess maybe they started a little bit later.
So wait, he was born right with the teams when the team started?
Yeah.
I thought it was a couple of days later.
Nope.
I could be wrong. Okay,
Well,
I
this
guess
is
I'm
what
wrong,
the
yeah.
Mets said. Look,
Okay.
happy birthday to the best mascot in the game, which
Damn right.
we all agree with that. So today is Mr. Met's birthday. I actually wrote on there like, hey, I'm today years old, even knowing this was a thing. But if you look down, where is it? There you go. This is a good thing about a live show. You could scroll down and it says there's video here right now of saying, the National League Baseball returns to New York as the Mets play their first game in franchise history, which was today.
Okay, there you go.
And I'd have to look it up. Maybe the fact checkers can. I'm almost guaranteed they lost. The Mets were not very good in 62 expansion team, but Mets baseball was back in New York. Because obviously the Dodgers and the Giants both left. And if you did not want to be a Yankees fan, you had no choice back in the day but to be a Mets fan. So,
however,
what?
Mets are one of the best teams on opening day.
Of course,
they could have won.
But they're horrible on holidays. I think Clem put it up.
Okay.
If you
Love
look
Clem.
up Like, comes the best. If you look up notoriously on like days, like because they lost on Easter, they lose on Easter, they lose on Mother's Day, they lose on Father's Day, they lose on 4th of July, lose on Memorial Day, Labor Day. What else is there in the summer? That's probably it. They're horrible. But opening day records for the Mets is like bank on it, put the house on it.
The house. Know? Yeah.
Well, or don't if you want to be responsible.
No, yeah.
So, have you heard much about the speakeasy? I hate that things are called speakeasies.
Speakeasy. It's supposed to be a secret. You know, everyone knows about it. It's not a speakeasy.
So the speakeasy is called Payson's. What's the club called? Some kind of club, Cadillac Club, Payson's Cadillac Club. With the logo is really cool. It's got like the old styrofoam hat that Joan Payson used to wear. But I found out that you have to be like a member to get in there. I guess.
Yeah,
thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
But
they probably don't mind paying $40 for parking. Those people.
It's probably included. You probably get like your name
on
like a parking spot with like your name is on like the concrete bumper or whatever they call it, the parking block. But I saw some fans that were in there. You can get in there now for like $100.
Really?
On like a secondary market. I don't know if they sell them on the Mets website, but there is a password to get into the speakeasy.
Please tell me they change the password every game. That's a real speakeasy.
No, I don't think they do because I mean that would make too much sense. But I should have liked it yesterday, so I remembered it. But let me try to pull this up. Okay, so Jake Brown, who has the podcast with Figgy on Amazing But True, which is for the New York Post, was in there last night. And the reason why this is a little bit of a segue because the door to get into the speakeasy is Mr. Met, the old school Mr. Met. So on Mr. Met's birthday, it just so happens that this came across my desk this morning. The Cadillac Club is legit a movie. This is on Jake Brown's Twitter account. You say, "Let's go Mets," and the door opens to the speakeasy to get in.
No.
Yeah, check out this video.
Let's go Mets. Wow.
And no one's operating.
Guess not. I mean, I didn't see anyone from the inside pushing it open.
No, yeah, that's true.
Let's go Mets.
Here, there's no like handle. There's no string.
Wow.
Right?
That's the password.
I guess
someone could be walking past that, going, "Yeah, let's go Mets," and a door opens. What is this?
It looks pretty cool. So
yeah.
You've been down there. Remember you, me, and Finley were in there. This is the old Mo Zone.
Oh, okay.
So the Mo Zone, but whatever they called it after that, it was Mo Zone. Then it was something else. Whatever.
The Hyundai Club. No,
Honda. I don't know what it was. That's
Sponsor,
what I was saying before about Citi Field's name being able to get changed like that. Like it's not the Party City deck. It's not the M&M Suite Seats. Things change so quickly.
In 10 years, we'll be calling it Amazon Field instead of Citi Field.
I hope not. But so that's the entrance. Like this is the old walkway. So it's to the left. When you come in the bullpen gate, where we walk in from tailgating, if you go to the left, I think that's the entrance to this, and just say, "Let's go Mets," you can get in.
That's great. And there's no security.
I mean, there has to be.
They have to change.
There has to be. This has to be behind a paywall first. But that's the story with that. So you can get in now. I mean, I don't understand why initially it was like you got to spend $30,000 on a season ticket to have a membership access to this thing. But you can find tickets online now.
On TickPick?
Unfortunately, not. I didn't see any on TickPick, but I saw some being sold for like not that expensive if you want to go enjoy that experience. I mean,
what else is offered with it?
I have no idea. It's got to be food and drinks. I mean, it has to be kind of like a suite.
Because when we went, there was food, there was drink. It was kind of
remember what Finley did?
No. What did he do?
So we met up at McFadden's first.
Yeah.
This is a nice segue into what McFadden's is now. This wasn't planned, but we had to do we were doing some kind of interview.
Okay.
Me, you, and him. We had to meet somebody, and he wore the outing shirt for the next day.
Yeah.
It was like the Subway Series outing shirt.
Right. I remember you saying that. It was I remember that.
Finley, you can't wear the outing shirt before the outing. It's bad luck.
Bad luck.
Then we ended up losing, and I blamed Finley. But so it's in there now. But so if you want to go check it out, feel free to go find tickets and send us some photos. I'll be happy to share them for you. But I don't really know what goes on in there besides saying "Let's go Mets" to get in.
That door, can you get to that spot without?
Tell Julia what's Julia's dog's name? Freddie or something. So Julia
Freddie
tonight
goes.
with Freddie should try to get into the speakeasy by saying "Let's go Mets."
Wow. I just want to test it. Like I want to test it. I want to put it through the ringer and find out if that's real.
Maybe you say "Let's go Mets" to get in the door, and then you show your ticket.
Maybe. I mean, you're gonna need a ticket for everything. Surprised you don't have to pay to pee yet.
I would pay to pee.
Of course.
I would pay extra for a speed pass to get into like a VIP line to go. I missed a humble brag here. I was going to meet Alex Cohen because she's like, "Hey, I'm at the top of the seats. You want to come say what's up?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course." I'm not going to say no to Alex Cohen.
Of course not.
So she walked out to the back and I'm like, just letting you know I'm on the bathroom line. Like it was to the point where like I couldn't leave the line.
Did she take you to the secret owner bathroom?
No.
That
I
was
wish.
cool.
But when I'm on the line, I'm like, all right, do I pee my pants, Fox going, or do I wait here and be like, hey, I'm running a little late. I'm on this bathroom line. So I didn't want to leave her hanging.
No,
she
you
came
gotta
over to
tell
say
her.
what's up.
Oh, so she met you on the bathroom line.
No, she waited at the kiosk.
Wow.
And I was like, all right, I'll be there. I'll be there soon, But
That's
it was,
so cool.
It
how
was
they
cold
do-
out.
That's so cool.
But I
how
would
they
pay
do-
extra to cut the line.
How much extra? You talking?
I would pay if there was like a for our we have 13 games this season.
We're giving them ideas. Someone on the Mets, someone on the Mets organization is listening.
How much
to
would
this
you
right
pay
now.
to pee?
You know what?
I would never do this, but at our feet in the section
Oh.
is a storm grate
That would stink so.
with a
bad.
drain.
Honestly, I don't know whether it's like a subconscious thing, but I don't really. When I'm at the seats, I don't really drink. I'll
Me
have my
either.
water. I just kind of like to vote because you know what? It's ingrained in me to be in my seat when the Mets are in the field for the strikeout chant. So like I tell myself, I have to time it. And now with the quicker innings, I haven't even really put.
Dude, you go on that
but I've
bathroom
been
line, you're on there for
Yeah,
and
you're
now with
missing an inning.
with the speed of the game, you're in there on the line for an inning. So
Oh, yeah.
there's that sound. It happens once in a while. Me and Julia say, hey, there's that sound. But we have 13 home games plus the games that we might go to when we're not with the group.
Right.
Man, I would pay a
Double
lot.
your ticket price?
No,
What
absolutely
are you
not.
talking? What are we talking here? 10, 20 bucks?
I would pay like
Fast pass at Disney's like 100, isn't it?
I would pay 15 to 20 bucks a game to have a pass that would let me get on this faster line to go to the bathroom.
Bro, someone is listening to this right now and is marching. He or she is speed walking to someone in sales or the organization and is like, boss, I got a great idea.
Well, it's like Clear. You sign up for Clear at the airport.
Yeah.
I would pay for like, hey, here's my eyeballs. Scan me up. I gotta pee.
Yeah.
You wouldn't?
Well, yeah. Now you're getting facial recognized to go pee.
Sure.
Jeez.
I mean, if a door open, you scan it and the urinal like unlocks and you could pee in it.
Yeah. Like a special, like a secret family bathroom kind of thing. Do you know what's crazy about Clear? Remember when we had it? We signed up.
I still have it.
I still have it.
Yeah.
I very rarely use it. I used it at maybe one of our airports, and it renews every whatever it is, 3 years. I don't know, a year, 3 years. And I see it come up on my credit card. I'm like, oh, I really got to do something about that. Something distracts me, and I forget all about.
you
It
don't.
just keeps that. I'm just stuck.
But I think that we got like we're legit in. Like I feel like something. I don't think I pay for it.
Well,
I don't know if they put us in when we.
Definitely pay for it.
I don't think so.
Andrew and I both got
I've never gotten
you
the
get
alert.
charged. I've been charged.
What? How much is it?
Yeah. 170. Oh,
It's worth it. The amount I fly, like, but
Yeah.
you don't. They
I
haven't really
haven't-
been
you're right.
flying
But you, it's
every time that it's available. I'm not going to not go through the Clear line.
Right. It's not
I
always
used
at
it
every
last
airport.
week.
It's
I
not at
used-
every airport.
All right. Well,
I remember I want to say Arizona coming home. It was there.
it's almost everywhere. So anyway,
Yeah.
fast pass for P lines. I would absolutely do that.
Someone, I'm telling you, mark the date. Mr. Met's birthday is the day this idea is going to get born. Happy birthday, Met fans. Here you go. New feet of P. Feet of P. That's the way, yeah. A feet of P.
Take the train to the game.
Yeah.
Feet like the hash. I'm thinking of the
Right,
hashtags. Take the train to the game. Feet to P.
Yeah.
40 to park.
Oh, my God. Can you at least get this worked into our renewal fees?
No, we honestly, when people bitch about like, oh, how come we can't go to the second level? Why can't we get access to this club? We're season tickets. A lot of people say that sit with us.
I know.
We're the only group in the in the ballpark that get the playoff perk.
Right.
So that's good enough for me.
Of course, that's good. And the clubs are pretty much all the way on the other side of the stadium anyway. So I mean, we have a sweet deal. I like
Absolutely.
our deal. You know, the price is right. We get a nice jersey, which I'm currently sporting. No, I'm very content, especially with that playoff perk.
Yes,
Especially
absolutely.
with the team going to be good.
So we haven't done this yet today. It's not something we always do because it's not always necessary. But some people like to tell us where they're watching from. So if you want to throw a comment here, let us know where you're watching from. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. It's sometimes when we start talking, I almost forget we're live. We're just here bullshitting with each other, which is the best part of the show, I feel. If you're listening afterwards to the podcast, we appreciate it. Share the show or like it, subscribe, do all that stuff. Same
Definitely
thing on
the
YouTube. Definitely YouTube. Tell your friends YouTube.
Yep.
Do a little sharing and subscribe and leave a comment.
I have to. I don't ever think to go to YouTube. I got to do that. I got to use it more.
Speaking of not thinking of going places, the K Corner. Is
Yeah.
that something you think you're going to stop in?
Um,
The new McFadden's is called the
Even-
K Corner.
I would like to see it. From what I gathered from people sharing on Facebook, Twitter, all that. it looks, probably the structure is incredibly similar to what McFadden's was, and McFadden's was great. I always had a good time there, But I want to check it out. I will.
Well, I'll check it out. But after
and
finding
for
out,
weekday games, we'll probably be doing that. Instead of tailgating, right?
I don't think so because I
always tailgating.
like you said, giving the Mets ideas. Maybe they're watching, maybe they're not. But we talked about this when the idea first came out. It's run by Aramark. It's run by the Mets. So like you're still paying ballpark prices. So if we're going to get there 2 hours early for a game and say, hey, let's meet up in the K corner. I don't really drink during the game as it is, not price wise, just because I don't want to wait on the bathroom lines. But I would then drink in the game. Well, granted, I also drive there. But if I was able to partake in extra beverages, I would if I knew that there wasn't going to be a bathroom line. But to get to the game 2 hours early, let's say, and go into the new McFadden's K corner and pay $16 for a beer, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So
you should get some kind of, it should be a little cheaper.
No, it's not. So Shoemaker went down. Don't look down because I wrote it down. So I can remind myself. I don't know if you already looked at it.
I know.
Okay. So he went in. They don't serve shots.
What?
It's not. It's
like mixed drinks they'll serve though.
Yes.
Not shots.
You can't get like, hey, get a shot of Jameson or something like that. You can't. I guess they just don't
policy?
If you can't get a shot like in the Piazza Club, I guess you can't get a shot in the K corner.
Okay.
It's a ballpark entity. You know what I mean?
You get a drink. I'm sure you get a drink neat.
So this is what he did.
Okay.
So he ordered 3, not shots, I guess 3 rocks of Jameson.
Okay.
And then they took the ice out, so they did the shots. How much did that came to?
3 shots of Jameson.
No, 3 rocks. So it's rocks is more than a shot. It's typically
3
a rock.
Rocks of what do you mean? Jameson on the rocks?
Jameson on the rocks.
But
3 of them.
3 Jamesons, essentially.
Right, but usually a rocks glass. I mean, we put like 3 shots in it when I was bartending. We put like 3 shots in the rocks glass. So they basically got 9 shots of Jameson.
Okay, you said a beer was what, 16?
I don't know, whatever the cans are usually. So what do you think you paid for 3 Jamesons?
$58.
$90.
What?
$90.
$90 for a drink?
Well, no, 3 of them.
We got a new rent coming, folks.
3 of them. So you can't get shots. So like, all right, let's get rocks, and they took the ice out and do the shots. $90.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Why?
So that's the story. Because it's not run by an outside company. Like we'd go to McFadden's and pay $3 for a Bud Light or $2. Remember we actually did $1 Bud Lights for a little bit if you were wearing our shit.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
We'd show the logo. Yeah.
So we'd go up and we get, hey, give me 20 Bud Lights, $20. Plus tip. Now you get 20 Bud Lights. It's like you got to mortgage your house.
I know. I just
remortgage.
Baseball used to be a game for the common man, and it's still one of the cheaper games to sports to see live, as evident by the $40,000 ticket price for the Knicks games. But man, is it not getting harder and harder to just everything goes up, but our people's salaries, everything keeps going through the roof.
Well, good thing for you. You don't have to pay for that 3rd ticket until your son's going to be 3. So
it's 3? That's the rules?
He's free until 3. And honestly, you could almost get away with older than that. But like, no, he's 3. Like, what does the guy get at the gate? Guy or gal gonna be like, well, show me his birth certificate.
Right.
Kid doesn't have ID.
I don't know. Amanda's getting pretty big. That kid might be walking. He might look like a 5-year-old. I don't know if you've seen my nephew, but he's barely a year old, and he's a big boy.
Yeah.
He's giant. He's tall. Right? I feel like he should be walking.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, it's expensive. So if you want to go to the K corner, I mean, no more power to you. And again, I don't want the Mets to feel like I'm, shitting on their idea, because it is their place, their spot. You know
what's cool about the K corner though? I saw that you do the reentry thing.
In and out.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I saw somebody that said they were going down there for the. Yep.
Don't say it.
Is that guy still in there though? The guy that has his grocery store. Remember that you go into the McFadden's bathroom, now the K corner bathroom, and he used to have. Mints,
probably not.
No,
that was great. Like the bathroom
because it's owned by
technician, whatever you call him, assistant, whatever.
Attendant.
He had everything.
Yeah.
Gum,
cologne.
Tic Tacs, cologne,
the whole
condoms, anything, snacks. You go, which is weird. Like you take a snack and you'd be eating it. You're like, wow, this just came from the bathroom.
You don't want
bathroom
food.
I still did it. We've had many good times at McFadden's, but the McFadden's is gone. But eventually there will be other options in the neighborhood.
7-Line Saloon.
I'm still gonna be. Oh, of course, I'm still gonna be at the K corner, but definitely not for like 2 hours pre-gaming.
Not for night. And I don't drink. I can't drink beer anymore, so I just go liquor.
Right.
I'm not spending
$90.
That's $30 a drink.
Yep.
No, thank you.
Yeah, that'd be.
I'll stick to I'll buy a bottle and I'll drink it a lot like a savage.
And hopefully they'll add some more porta potties for us.
Please, my pregnant wife needs it.
So unfortunately, Keith Blacknick says there are no bathroom attendants. That was great back then.
No.
That was excellent. I mean, that guy was the man. He had everything.
Right. You got to know that guy, so it was cool seeing him. Sometimes you go into a bathroom in a place though, and you see an attendant, and it feels like a responsibility.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this guy's out here working. You got to throw him something. And we're constantly going more cashless
Well,
now. It's like,
now-
do you take Venmo?
But now
Can I tell you?
that's more than ever because it's everywhere you go before you end up paying the attendant or not the attendant, the employee at the register, wherever you may be,
Yeah.
says to you, there's going to be a couple questions that you got to answer before you could sign, which is always the tip.
Right.
So they don't want to be like,
They put percentages.
always.
Yeah.
So you have to hit the button or other. So do you feel weird hitting other?
Yes.
If you feel,
I'll do
it's
it.
always 15, 20, 25 or other.
I'll do it. I'm not basing it on my percentage.
You ever watch Curb?
Yeah.
So you know when they're tipping and Jason Alexander is on there and he doesn't,
Yeah.
he's like, how much did you tip?
Right.
Because he wants to over tip him, like him and
Larry.
Yeah, so it's pressure.
It is pressure.
Even when you pick up,
And sometimes you're not thinking about it. You just boom, boom, boom. You want to get out of there as fast as you don't want to hold up the line, and you're not thinking. And then later on that night, when you're looking at what you spent at the ballpark, and you're wondering, do I have to take a second mortgage out of the house because I got a shot of Jameson? You're like, oh man, I really shouldn't have tipped 40% or hit the wrong button. No,
It's
I
a
like
lot of
I'll
pressure.
go.
even when you pick up food, there's a tip option. So I feel
Yeah.
weird about that. Like
I want to. It's gonna sound real bougie, but you have to perform a service for me. Don't just
they just hand you the bag.
right.
The person does the person at the counter that hands you the bag, do they share that tip with the guy that makes the food in the back?
Probably
Probably
not.
not. So when I go to some places, like my local Chinese food place, which I love, it's like the owners are at the register. So it's like they're
Mhm.
already making all the money off of the transaction. If you're
Right.
tipping them, you're just giving them extra money on the
I
on
wonder
the.
that too.
So it's
Yeah.
not like McDonald's or something where like
Right.
the kid at the register doesn't
Yeah.
own McDonald's.
Yeah, Bobby's not CEO of McDonald's.
Right.
He's just bringing you your fries.
So I feel like that's a little bit weird too. But they always try to give me like bottles of soda, which I don't want. Like they give you like the
Mhm.
free stuff. So I do give them a couple bucks
Yeah.
here and there. But yeah, the tip thing is a little strange. But I don't even
For
know
sure.
how we got here. But either way,
yeah, the shots for $90.
shots for $90
Yeah.
or tipping people for your pickup food. I don't know. It's a little weird. But tip your beer guy though. The other day,
Definitely.
we've had one guy come down to our section in the whole game.
Yeah.
One
Right.
who also
we're
works.
getting the Philly treatment at home.
Scanlon is his last name. I can't remember his first name. Remember Cranky? He passed away.
Yes.
His son is a beer guy. Cranky, who played the guitar at our tailgates a couple times, he passed away unfortunately a couple years ago. But his son works at MSG. He works at Citi Field, and
Okay.
he's a beer guy.
Oh,
So I'll
wow.
introduce you next time. But,
Yeah.
he came down, and the only person to come down that works on the beer
That's crazy.
side of Citi Field came to our section on opening day. So
Why?
shout out to him. I don't know.
We need Mike
I
Marshall
guess
back.
well, Mike Marshall's a member now.
I know.
But you know what it is? I get it. It's he came down probably because he's friendly with us,
Mhm.
but they probably make so much more money just standing on the Shea Bridge.
Right. And if you're a beer
Because
guy,
it's constant money.
if you're a beer guy, think about it. Do you want to move around with something on
Do you
your
want to
head?
walk down 30 steps or just stand at the top of the
Yeah.
Shea Bridge?
I know.
I
It
get it.
makes
I get it.
sense,
I
yeah.
get it.
I bet you though we'll see more on the games where they're not as packed or sold out, like
Yeah.
not the premium games. But remember that Philly treatment we got that first outing? They didn't send nobody up.
Yeah, but then you got to throw the first pitch the second time we went. So what a
Yeah.
change of events.
I know.
So to go from like, if you don't know, the first time we went to Philly, I think it was 2014 or 15. Before we even got to the seats, the vendors were told to not serve us anything. So if we wanted
Terrible.
water, cotton candy, anything, not just beer, water, hot dogs, peanuts, popcorn, Cracker Jacks, anything, we had to walk down to out of our seats and to the concession stands behind our seats. They wouldn't serve us
Yep,
anything,
yep.
and we weren't even causing a problem.
No.
But
Well, but
then
then
it
causing
ended-
problems within each other. But we'll get.
But
to
then
that.
it ended up getting like, people were getting more restless. Like, what the fuck? I got to leave my seat to go get a water.
Hey, you don't want to miss
And it was like an 18-inning game. The Mets
Right.
finally won. But then the second time we went, you threw out the first pitch.
Yes. Thanks to you. You gave me that.
But
that
then-
honor that really turned out to be a social media burden. And I haven't
But
been
you
as
have to-
active on social media since.
We
Really,
talked that day. Like, you got to be able to take, like, honestly, I get shit
dude.
on
I don't know how you
every-
do it
every
Ah,
day.
you too.
every day because
I
I've been
know.
doing this for so long now. It's like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
Doesn't it? You don't feel like you're getting jaded? Like
I don't care. Like, I don't really give a fuck. If
Right.
they're taking the time to talk shit about you, it means you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Like if someone wants to, there's accounts, certain people that have accounts, which I also don't give them the satisfaction to block
Right.
anybody. I let them talk shit. I don't care.
Yeah.
And
That's what they want. Is the block.
every day, every couple of days, they'll write about whatever at Darren, at the 7-Line, whatever, and just talk shit. To spend that much brain power on me
Sick,
or
right?
this is insane.
Get a hobby. Do
Right.
something you like.
So when you started getting hated on after the first pitch from Phillies fans, which of course you knew that was going to happen. He went out in his jersey, the general, wearing the
Damn
bandana. Carter Roberts did a whole like segment on it when we
Philly
got home.
radio. Philly was on it.
They were pissed for days. Philly radio talked about it.
Just get links sent to me.
It was great.
You know, bad.
But that's the last time we're ever going to get to throw out a first pitch. So I'm glad you did it because
you know, well, I'm sure. Listen, they offer you
other
didn't
things.
Miami offer.
Yeah,
Miami
but they told Sam no
jerseys.
Mets stuff.
Yeah.
So Sam, who
That's crazy.
I forgot these were going to be Sam's, but I told you could also have. There's a little dilemma we have here. We're jumping around the board here, but these sunglasses, I told Sam I was going to save her a pair of sunglasses, but then I also told Andrew I was going to save him these sunglasses too. So I told Sam today that you guys are going to have to do like rock, paper, scissors or something for him.
Sorry, Sam. Rock,
Yeah.
I win.
So Rock wins.
Because I win.
But what if she picked paper?
Huh? Oh, well.
She would have beat you.
Yeah,
but anyway,
would've.
so he got a lot of shit from Phillies fans, and I said, it has to be expected. If a Phillies fan came to Citi Field and threw out the first pitch on
storm the field
on our field, we'd be pissed too.
Of course.
So when Sam got the opportunity to walk out the lineup card on opening day a couple weeks ago this Thursday, they said no Mets stuff. So what she did was, which is pretty slick, her fanny pack or whatever, her cross body, whatever they call that, was clear plastic. Okay. And she put in like orange and blue Mets koozies.
There you go, girl.
So you could see it. It's so sick.
Smart.
And
very smart.
You hear what she said to Buck Showalter at home plate?
Oh, I love you more than Lindor's kid, right?
Yeah. So Buck was like, what's the deal here? Why you have like orange and blue nails and stuff? So that she had a great moment there.
That's awesome. That's very cool. Buck's awesome.
It's unfortunate that she lost these sunglasses.
Yeah, sorry, Sam.
So we were talking about Philly for a second. This weekend, the Mets are playing in Oakland. I'm wearing the Oakland t-shirt from last season. Unfortunately, Jacob deGrom shit the bed this day, and I don't even think he made it out of the second inning. But
no, he got shelled.
The Mets were already in contention for a playoff spot. We knew that at least the wild card was a lock. And unfortunately, we wanted them to win down the stretch to hopefully win the East, which they did not do. But this weekend, the Mets are going back to Oakland. And the way that it works now is with the new schedule changes where every team plays each other at least one series a year. Mm-hmm. We're going to be able to finish our ballparks within the next couple seasons. So we've been to Oakland already.
Right in time for me to have a kid, and I can't really make the travels anymore.
Yeah, maybe.
I have to.
But wherever our last ever away game is, which it's going to either be Detroit, Tampa,
D-line,
Detroit, Tampa, Houston, Arlington, and Cleveland. Those are the last 5 to go after this season. Okay. So whichever one that is, the last ever, you got to go to it. And that's when we write the book. So remember when you were saying you write little things about each game?
Yeah.
The book that comes out eventually is going to be page 1, Wrigley Field, a photo of the shirt, a photo of the outing,
that's awesome.
And then a little blurb about what happened that day. But I don't want it to be written from us. I want fans that were at that game to submit stories about that outing.
So how many pages would you go like for each outing?
There'll be a spread for each game. So each out, not every outing, it'll be each road game, and then we'll do something that covers like
so that won't be that many.
Yeah, so it'll be whatever 28 pages or whatever it is for the road games, and then each page. Well, we can't do every home game too because there's been a million home games, but we'll have testimonials from fans about the home one. But it's basically like I just spit a ballpark chaser style book, but just about us. So like the shirt from the game, blurbs from fans, and then
that's a cool idea.
Yeah. So like we met Chris Duell.
Is it going to be like a memorabilia for you?
No, we're going to sell them. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sell them.
We'll
Okay,
yeah,
that's great.
Plus, especially the fans that are in it are going to be excited, like their stories in it. So like,
so cool. It's a great idea.
We met Chris Duell first ever outing in Wrigley. He doesn't sit with us as much. He lives out in freaking Chicago, but still very instrumental. In the group, he gave the flag to Murphy right back there. So like a lot of cool things happen that game. So that's the deal. But anyway, the Mets are back to Oakland this weekend. And we're running super late. Hopefully, you don't have to be anywhere.
That's because we like to talk, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very smart on Josh's part, who works for the Oakland Athletics. They put together a site with discounted field level tickets all in the same section. So it's not an official outing, but if you click these links, you will then know that if you do buy these tickets, you'll be seated with other Mets fans in Oakland.
Fantastic idea.
Very smart. So if you go to our Twitter account, I got a call this morning that about 70 Mets fans have so far signed up for this, which is a decent amount. So like, even if you're going by yourself, you're going to be seated near someone who's a Mets fan. And who knows, if you're a Mets fan and you live in the Oakland area, you might just become great friends because of this one game.
Absolutely. And I could safely say meeting people at a ballpark creates lifelong friends and sometimes marriage.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, baby.
Speaking from experience. So
Yeah.
go onto our Twitter account. You obviously have until this weekend to purchase the tickets. This is not an official outing with us. It doesn't come with a shirt or anything, but you do get a discounted seat on the field level. I believe it's like $30. And about
Wow.
70 people have signed up so far. So
If you're a Met fan in Oakland, you got to do that.
yeah.
That's
and
incredible.
check your email.
I'd be all over that.
If you're on our email list, check it out. We sent it out a few days ago. And hopefully if you're interested, you go pick that up. So
Maybe you'll meet your wife.
Yeah, maybe
or
you'll meet
husband.
wife, husband, roommate. Maybe you'll have a seed coming in 9 months.
Or you find a bowling team.
Yeah, bowling team. The list goes on and on. Or maybe you'll start a Marvel podcast with them.
All right.
Speaking of other things we have coming out, just because we got to chill a little bit for ourselves here before we go, a bunch of new hats, a bunch of new shirts, dresses, shorts, bunch of stuff coming out soon. The ever so popular home run, it's popular, it didn't even come out yet. The home run apple windbreaker.
Oh, man. You don't even know. I got to tell you a story about that.
Broke the internet when these first came out a couple weeks ago. It says right here, on deck for spring. So spring has sprung. These will be coming out within the next week.
Pay attention, Joe.
Pay attention, Joe. The home run apple quarter zip windbreaker will be going up on our site, I believe, next week. We're waiting for the rest of them to come in. I only have the sample so far. That's what I've been wearing. That's what I've been taking pictures of. And once we have a set date, all of this stuff is going to go up at the same time. So we have the sundresses, the shorts, the new flags, the windbreakers, some matching towels, whole bunch of stuff. So head on over to thesunline.com and check that stuff out. And make sure when we do announce the time, you set yourself up with a reminder, because I really like, we were talking about things being done on purpose, like the size of the patch maybe was on purpose.
Yeah.
Our inventories, the way we run our brand for the past almost 2 decades now, or decade and a half, is we don't bring in too much right off the bat. We'd be all out of business.
Yeah.
If I would have brought in stuff that I was super high on back in the day that ended up not selling, we would have been buried. So we bring in smaller batches of things, test it out, and order more. So I don't want to set a number.
That Apple one is going to go fast.
It's going to go
100%.
very quick. This guy tried to take the shoes off his feet at the What's New event and trade me his sweaty sneakers, which were nice. It was
was it my friend Joe?
No,
he's been all over me for this
I don't
thing.
think so. This guy, he was very stylish. He had like a scarf on. He had a nice jacket. He had the shoes on. It was those gray Nikes that came out last year with the orange and blue check on the side.
Yeah.
A lot of people have them.
A lot, yeah.
It looked like the road grays. And a lot of people thought we were involved in it because I don't know how they didn't get sued, but if you pull down the tongue, there's an orange, come on, a purple number 7, which I know you cannot do without permission from MTA in the circle.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So you can make a purple 7 on something, but you can't.
It was custom.
No, Nike made these.
Oh.
So I don't know how they didn't get in trouble because they're not affiliated with MTA. And they're already sold, so they probably can't get sued now. But the inside of the tongue was the circle, the circle with the orange. Why keep saying orange?
Purple.
The purple circle with the white 7, and on the other side was a home run apple on the inside of the tongue. But they blurred it enough where it doesn't say Mets or home run. So they didn't get in trouble from the Mets. They didn't get in trouble from MTA. But anyway, he tried to trade me the sneakers off his feet for that jacket, which obviously wasn't a fair trade because the one-of-a-kind sample is worth more than, a sneaker that was made like thousands of them. So that's the story. Anyway, each week, this week we're not doing it because I just ran out of like ideas today and I don't feel like doing it. But we're going to announce last week's winners. We've been doing this thing where someone has to comment a word and then they win a gift card. So last week we were talking about someone was gambling last year and they were rooting for a hit from Gore. Remember the one guy, Gore?
Yeah.
He was really known for his speed. He'd come in for pinch hitting, and they picked Gore for a hit on a parlay and it hit. And the kid came down and bought everyone beer in our section.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
So we made the word be Gore last week. This week there's no word, but we have to announce the winners of last week. So on Facebook it is Jennifer Grandel, and on YouTube it is Nicholas Simonetti. And I promise you, I am so backed up on reaching out and coming to doing my end of this giveaway by actually giving you guys these gift cards. But I will catch up, I promise, over the next couple of days. I've been a little backed up. So that's the story with that. I appreciate the general for blessing us with his presence this week.
Happy to do it.
Filling in for Julia, who is with probably en route soon with Freddie for
$40 to park.
$40 to park for Bark in the Park. Anything you want to say, buddy?
I promised Lucho I would say him this. He was asking about the sanitation's new rules for putting out garbage. If you want to keep putting it out at 6 o'clock, it has to be in a bin with a sealed top. Otherwise, you have to wait until 8 p.m. and you can put out your bags and unsealed tops. That's the new rule. The commissioner is trying to fight the rats, and this is how she thinks it's
That's a smart. We'll see. I don't know if 2 hours is going to make a difference, but
my poor grandmother, she's like, I got to get a can with a lid now. I don't know what to do. And my grandma gets anxious anyway.
The raccoons knock my shit over all the time.
Oh, yeah. We got turkeys. The turkeys like to mosey around the lawn.
Oh, so before we move on, speaking of turkeys and wildlife, I mean, you moved out. You like it out here, right?
Love it.
So we had the Easter Bunny come to our house over the weekend, and we wake up in the morning, and all of the eggs that were left out on our lawn from the Easter Bunny were opened
No.
from either raccoons or deer, and all the candy was gone.
No.
Yeah,
Does chocolate have the same effect on deer that it does on dogs?
I don't know.
I hope not.
But there's
Otherwise,
no,
there's gonna be a lot of dead deer in the neighborhood.
No, but yeah. So I mean, it's like I get it,
Oh, man.
Wildlife.
Oh, she took it like a champ. Like she wasn't.
Yeah,
upset?
she's cool. Because there was the Easter Bunny left some in the house as well, so
Yeah.
we were all
Oh,
good with
that's
that.
good to know though, because
Yeah.
my plan, eventually when the kid's old enough, I want to do. I'm so excited to do that.
Yeah, you have a lot of turkeys near your house.
I know.
Drive-
But I might
dri-
have to get up early.
Drive
and do
ass
it.
turkeys.
I might have to. I might have to get up early and do it in the morning before.
Yeah, do your thing. So anyway,
Yeah.
listen, we still appreciate when you share the show. I don't have anything to give you this week, but share the show, get involved, tell your friends. If you're listening afterwards as a podcast, we appreciate it as well. Thumbs up, subscribe, like things, do reviews, do all the stuff that you know to do.
Subscribe on YouTube.
Subscribe on YouTube. This is not your first time watching any podcast. I probably can guarantee that. So thanks to TickPick. Use the code OABT, $10 off any order over $99 in the app for first-time users. We do have a gambling partner, but the legal stuff has not been figured out yet.
Oh.
So unfortunately, my plan to start getting people involved last week at the tailgate party did not happen. So sit tight on that. We'll share that when we can. Thanks for watching, and let's go Mets.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Or day. I mean,
Day,
for you,
night.
it feels like night.
Yeah, this is like nighttime for me now. It's bedtime soon. I wait for Amanda to come home, and that's it.
Put in the books. See you guys later.